Nice gentleman from Wisconsin, Mr. Grothman.
Yeah, first of all, I'd like to comment on a statement made by our newest member here. In Wisconsin, I felt one of the things we did to improve education the most is stand up to the teachers' union and allow some of the worst teachers to be let go. And I think it's disappointing we have people who think the key to improving education is unionizing the schools, and unionizing the schools inevitably means you can't get rid of the worst teachers. So just a little bit my personal experience in Wisconsin. Second thing, people here mention the GED. And at least in Wisconsin, we weren't allowed, even as a state legislator, to see the GED. But somebody released it to me anyway, I guess breaking the law. And I was shocked at how easy those tests were. It was almost comical. I'm going to ask you, will you do what you can to, at least for some states, I don't know if it's a nationwide thing or a state-by-state thing, release some of these GED exams, even if they're 4 or 5 years old, so the public can see what they mean?
Well, thank you for your question. I'm not sure that's under my jurisdiction, but I would like to look into it and get back to you on that.
Okay. Next thing, just covering workforce Pell just a second. I know it sounds good, at least in Wisconsin. When I talked to trucking firms, I saw I toured a manufacturer last week who was paying for the tech school degrees for its employees even before the people were employed there. Same thing with construction firms, paying for the education. So I kind of felt a little bit that this workforce Pell is we're driving in and paying for stuff the private sector's taking care of already. So I'll just ask you to look into that. Now, as far as bias and the anti-Semitism in universities, to me it's part and parcel of a larger problem. Anybody who's been involved in Republican politics for a while has met students who have to lie routinely on tests to feel they have to get a good score. And it's because you have this monolithic left wing that is got almost all, in some disciplines, of the teaching jobs. And to me, this anti-Semitism is increasingly part of the left wing zeitgeist that's everywhere in the universities. Global warming, greatly exaggerated amount of bias in the universities, that sort of thing. What do you think, and I honestly don't know the answer to this, what do you think we can do about the overwhelming left-wing bias in so many disciplines at the universities?
Well, I think that's one of the things that I've been talking about is doing some vetting on how the courses are being taught and to make sure that we have, equal and diverse viewpoints. I mean, when Harvard will, through its own Harvard Crimson, say that only 3% of the faculty are conservative, I don't think we have diversity of viewpoints in that case. And even in hiring, we're looking at Harvard. Harvard had the standard case. It was right. Students versus Harvard.
Thank you.
It was Harvard's not hiring, through merit, it's decreasing those populations of students from, it's against a lot of Asians in the community. So all of those things have to be taken into consideration.
I agree with you that we have a shortage of people going into skills-based learning programs, be they tech schools, be they trade schools, what have you. I think part of the answer is to disseminate the statistics showing how much better, say, a plumber or an electrician or a welder does than people with a communication arts degree or a business marketing degree. And it's a very difficult thing to know what to do because, of course, under our Constitution, education is not really something that we think of as a federal thing. But I think you could disseminate that. Would you try to do what you could to, during your term, educate the public as to how much better financially people do with a skill as opposed to a general education degree?
I certainly would like to make sure that everyone does understand that.
Would you publicize it? I guess that's what I'm looking for. Would you publicize how much better?
I think those stats are available. All you have to do is have a plumber come to your house. Boy, I can tell you that I might be in the wrong business sometimes.
I hope you use your position. My final question is, one of my colleagues here talked about so-called difference by income level, and I always think that's not where they should be looking. I think they should be looking by family background. Would you collect data, unlike for income level, family background of students and see, by that I mean family structure, and see how that affects educational test scores? Would you do that for us?
I'd really like to get back to you and understand a little bit more of what you would like us to look into, but I will get back to you on that.
Gentleman's time has expired.